Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Red Sea podcast. This is Dennis, as always. I do apologize for the minor delay. We just had to do some stuff, get some stuff done. But I'm here. We're here normally. Everything should be good. I do want you all to tell me if there is background noise because I do have a fan open. Because the heat here is unbearable. If that's not too much, we can get going normally. So yeah, we have a bunch to talk about. It's a bit more organized than last time, where we had to catch up on about a month's worth of news, I think. It's still quite a big list, but honestly, should be smooth sailing. And we'll start with this. First training for Olympiacos FC happened, and honestly, I'm happy the preseason has started. I'm happy that we've gotten going, that stuff's clearing up. We're about to see the team head off to the Netherlands, and I'm happy people are getting chances. People like the very, very talented Yorgos Hiosios, people like Isidoros Koutsidis who will follow the team as the, for now, fourth centre back. People like Papacanelos, people like the returning from some very, very bad and hard injuries, Sofanis Bakoulas and Angelakis. And in general, it's nice to see that the picture is clearing up with the youngsters as well, because I think I speak for everyone when I say that we would love to see some youngsters in this squad as regular members of this squad, helping the squad. I will give my shout to someone I have been giving deserving praise, at least in my opinion, throughout the entire year, and that is the 17-year-old Yorgos Hiosios, who is rightfully deemed as one of the most talented right backs in Greece. And as we stand, Olympiacos has no real backup right back, as Rodi, if he stays, should be considered a backup winger. So behind the newly acquired Pablo Maffeo, I'd say Siosios has a massive chance, and if he does prove to be ready, if he does prove to be good enough to Medilibar, first of all, I would be more than happy if we went with him as a backup right back, because the youth of Olympiacos have almost never failed us when it comes to big moments, especially. Now, along with the first training session, a man that we knew for a while was coming is officially here, and that's the very familiar face of David Carmo. David Carmo, who will be giving Lorenzo Pirola a run. A duo on the left side of the centre back position that will prove to be more than just quality, that will prove to be certainty, as we hope at least, but I'm sure we will see so as well, that David Carmo has come with the goal to find his best self again, and this time help Olympiacos on the long term and not just on the short term. And combining that with the talent and the insane quality and hard work of Lorenzo Pirola, I think while the partner of our captain, Panos Rechos, isn't really a certainty, I think we're stuck, and especially Mendilibar is stuck with a very, very win-win scenario. And I'm happy that David Carmo's back. I'm happy that David Carmo is here to stay because David brings stuff that no one else in the squad really does. We have 3 center backs that can easily start. We have 3 center backs that each bring so many unique and different positives to the game that Olympiacos really, really needs. And all 3 of them at their best, if we stick with them throughout the season, and whoever comes in to be the 4th choice center back, whether that's Smilovic, whether that's Duarte, whether that's someone else, along with Isidoros Koutsidis, I am very, very, I would say very hesitant in saying I'm positive, but no, I'm very positive. I would joke about being hesitant while positive because we were talking about depth this time last year and we saw how that went. But no, I'm positive. I am very happy with how the summer is going in general. I am very happy with the names that we're hearing. I'm happy that we're getting football people in the club. For example, Avram Papadopoulos is now part of Mendilibar's staff officially. We'll talk about Cardoso and Antonio Cordon in a bit. We'll get through a bunch of stuff while we go on. But it's looking positive. It's looking very positive. I'll mix stuff up in general. I will make sure to talk about everything as analytically as I possibly can, even though some stuff will be just quick mentions. But we'll see about that as well. But yeah, I think for a starter and for what we're seeing out of the first training session and adding Carmo into the factor that we already knew, I'm happy. For now, I'm happy. And let's not forget that we just got into July, right? Let's not rush things. Let's not be too hasty on some stuff. Another addition that we haven't really gotten the chance to talk about because he hasn't officially been announced yet is Balsa Popovic. We talked extensively about the young goalkeeper last show, so do go check that out. I don't want to keep repeating myself over and over and over. But the very good thing, the calming thing, is that we saw Balsa Popovic present with the rest of the team today at the stadium presentation. And hopefully, again, take this with a grain of salt. I'm not going to act like a proper journalist here. Hopefully, he's announced as early as tomorrow. Okay? That's what's going around. Hopefully, Balsa Popovic is announced as early as tomorrow. And hopefully, the scene clears up on what happened, what was the delay, what took a bit, is the player okay medical-wise, and hopefully he can immediately join into preseason, get some friendlies under his belt. Because again, just a reminder, yeah, exactly what I'm going on about, that the delay was a bit worrying. Stuff came out about the player's medical, talks were happening and stuff like that. I didn't really get into any like extensive talk about it because I didn't want to just spew out BS. I'm just happy that that's ending, that's going towards a positive end, because this is a very talented goalkeeper. This is a very promising goalkeeper, and him and Jolakis will provide more safety than we've seen in a while. Because I feel like Balsa Popovic is someone that can get called up in a second when needed and perform. And I'm sure we'll see that in the friendlies as well. But I just want the man to get announced first. Okay, I want to wait until I give an extensive opinion and stuff like that until the man gets announced. That's about it. I don't want to get too far into it. Now, flipping over from the football, water polo, men's specifically. Last time out, we talked about the leaving of Zalanki and Kakaris. And now, finally, officially, I can talk about some acquisitions. Those being of Kharkov and the very familiar name of Loren Fatovic. Two very, very talented Croatian wings. Of course, Kharkov is of Russian descent, but he is representing Croatia. Fatovic being the son of our coach. Two incredible additions to the team. Two needed additions to the team. To a team that was already very good. A team that was already very good lost players, so changes were a necessity. A lot of changes are still to be announced. This is the team with the least announcements up to now, but we are talking about two very, very, very good points to start with, to build on, for a team that, if you'd at least allow me, bar some minor exceptions, we are going to talk about in a more positive light in a year than we're talking about the past season. It's going to be a different team. It's going to be a team with a lot more characteristics, a team with a lot more to bring on the table, a lot more variety. And I am very, very positive. And these comments actually an amazing setup. Two major signings in men's water polo and two significant contract renewals on the women's side. Things do look bright for next season, even though for the girls, for the queens of Europe, there wasn't a doubt. But it's worth mentioning that the captain, Vaso Plevritou, and Irini Ninu both renew the contracts. Irini renews for 2 years, and Vaso renews for her 16th 16th straight season with Olympiacos. And honestly, if you'd allow me, things for the 5th look very bright already. They look very very bright already. And Vaso Plevritou is the captain. Vaso Plevritou will always be one of us. Now, let's talk about a name that even I wasn't familiar with. Let's move over to handball. Ante Kudus. A signing that I really wasn't familiar with. Croatian left back. A player that is of a wonderful caliber, to say the least. I'm not going to go into anything extensive because I want you all to go do your research. I don't want to just tell you everything about the Erasitechni precision wise. I want you all to get invested. I want you to research into the Erasitechni, look into the teams, the players, everything, support the Erasitechni, support Olympiacos everywhere. That's the main message of this show. But yeah, a man with extensive appearances in the Champions League out of all competitions, having scored 289 goals in European competitions, having silverware to drool over, honestly, and a very, very strong contender for signing of the season. I did see some highlights. I would suggest to you all to search the guy up, see some highlights. The man has a lightning strike of a shot. The ball teleports when this man shoots. Do go look him up. You won't be disappointed about the newest signing of our treble winners. And again, I know there is a lot of changes in the handball team. I know that it feels weird to have so many changes after a treble year, but be very positive. Be behind this team. We're not even nearly done with the announcements yet. We still have a lot of announcements to talk about in the handball department as well. But it's looking more than positive. And again, if you'd allow me, I think we may be talking about the final puzzle piece of European champions of Olympiacos that needs to fall into place, actually falling into place. It may be a bit overly positive and very early to say it, but the team looks good. The team looks very, very good. And honestly, I really feel like we'll see a lot of stuff that we will be very, very, very excited over. A quick mention on the loans department, back to football. Diogo Nascimento, as we've been reporting for a while now, will be heading to Rio Ave on loan. We did hear about this around late May, so it's been a while. Then discussions were happening about Diogo getting a loan deal away from the group to another team, but that didn't end up happening. And in a win-win scenario for both parties, Diogo Nascimento will be a Rio Ave player next season. This is a big positive for us. This is a big positive for the player. He'll be in a very familiar league, in a very familiar environment, under a wonderful coach, and this is big plus for Rio Ave themselves, as they are lacking Portuguese players. So it really seems like an ideal agreement between clubs, and I feel like we'll see a bunch more loans to come. A reminder, Yachikuras and Hamza are more than likely going to head over to Kalamata, newly promoted Kalamata, next season for a season-long loan. Gustavo Mancha stays at Rio Ave as well for another year-long loan. And as was confirmed earlier today, Nikos Athanasiou will stay for another season-long loan at Offi. And I'm not gonna lie, I am a bit bummed in regards to that. I really wanted Nikos Athanasiou to have a chance at Olympiacos, but he's staying in an environment where he's loved, an environment where he's performing the best, and we'll see what happens, honestly. But it's a lot of loans to keep an eye on, and I'm sure they're not over. What's going on with Roca and Stanic or Jota Silva? I had that question saved for later, but let's get into it. I wish I could say more than I've been saying for a while now. The whole deal with Joel Roca really seems like it's up to Girona. As Sport FM reported a few days ago, we have reached personal agreements with both Joel Roca and Petar Stanic, but the clubs are becoming a bit of a problem. Joel Roca, we are trying to find that sweet spot on the price with Girona, and Petar Stanic, if reports are to be believed, it's a matter of payment. It's not even a matter of price, which is annoying. It seems like we have agreed with the buying price for Petar Stanic with Ludogorets, and they want more money straightforward as a first installment, and then the rest. It's really, with Petar Stanic, it really seems like minor details, which is annoying. Again, I am more positive about the Stanic deal right now without knowing anything extra. And Jota Silva, who I am gonna be very straightforward, because I always want to be straightforward with you guys. I'm not positive about that deal happening. I mean, the guy is a very good player, but he has snubbed us for a bit now, and his loan to Besiktas wasn't really something to be excited over. But we are talking about a talented player, and it seems like, at least, that he's the backup case, just in case the Petar Stanic deal goes wrong. At least for now. Those are the reports that are out, more or less. Personal opinion, I think the Petar Stanic deal will get done sooner or later, and I don't know about the other two. I think we will eventually see Joel Roca as well join the team in pre-season, But we'll see. I am positive. I'm remaining very positive about both deals. And I will advise you to keep the name of Smilovic in the back of your head. We'll see what happens, but don't completely forget that name. I would keep an eye on that case as well. I don't really think it's as done as it was presented to be. I think we have more of a case with Smilovic than we do with Duarte. It really seems like Duarte is gonna head to Brazil for Sao Paulo, and again, as good of an option as Duarte would have been, I'm not gonna be sad if we lose him. I would prefer Smilovic personally, but the club knows best. That's self-evident. So we'll see. Do I believe that they will be Olympiacos players in the end? Again, this is my personal opinion. Don't take this as a matter of fact. I believe that Petar Stanic will be an Olympiacos player in the end. I'm not that certain about Joel Roca, but as a total answer, I do believe that both of them will be Olympiacos players in the end. I'm just a bit more certain, per se, about Petar Stanic. But again, honestly, we'll see. And we'll see soon. I'm just glad that all this chaos will be done soon, because everyone will join the team at worst a few days late for pre-season out of the main targets of Olympiacos. And now, as a perfect continuation, I don't know if we have seen the main targets of Olympiacos yet, because we have just seen our new general director being announced. Of course, I am talking about Miguel Cardoso. And we are close. It's not quite been official yet, but we are close to the return. A return that I personally would have never expected. I wrote it over on social media as well. I never really expected to be reporting on this, but we are close to the return of the man that's responsible for a lot of the squad of 2024. And of course, I'm talking about Antonio Cordon. I did ask you all on socials if you would want Antonio Cordon back, and it was an overwhelming yes. And I would have to say that I agree. It's a massive yes from me as well. And I do want to say that it's an even more of a yes than before, because Antonio Cordon will come into a way more organized team with barely any players that need to go, gaps that need to be filled, yes, but not, he doesn't have to get rid of 150 useless players and 15 loans this time. And he'll be doing his work with people next to him. He'll be a connecting point between Cardoso, between Darko, between Mendy. And I do believe that it will be more of a case of players like Esse, Ibora, Ayub, etc., than a Freire, for example. It is very positive that there's proper organization in the technical stuff. I do agree. But it's very positive also that we're seeing so many proper changes and additions. I mentioned it earlier. Avram Papadopoulos is now in Mendilibar staff. Miguel Cardoso, Antonio Cordon, Giovanni is now an ambassador for the club. It really seems like the club's bending again. Like getting together, getting a hierarchy there, getting connecting points between everyone. That's why I'm positive about this summer. It's all looking very organized. And with the money that Marinakis mentioned, we'll get into the interview last, unless it comes up. With the money that Mr. Marinakis mentioned, I do believe that we'll see a lot of players, and most importantly, I believe that we'll see scout picks like Stanic, like Roka, like Smilovic. I think the days of manager picks, at most at least, are done. Of course, there's gonna be manager work. There always is. And a lot of it's positive. It's not just negative, but I do believe that we'll see picks from the scouting department, the analytics department. And I do believe we'll work a lot like that this summer. That's why I'm a bit positive. I didn't catch this comment initially saying I'm not positive about Smilovic. I'm not necessarily either, but I just don't think that it's off the table yet. And speaking of moves that need to be happening, speaking of additions and stuff like that, according to the ever reliable Yorgos Tsanakas, the team's preparing to lock down Zolakis on a new contract, new and improved contract. Kostas Zolakis has an expiring contract next summer. Maybe it's a bit late to think about this renewal, but with the respect that's there on both sides, with the love that's there on both sides, I think we won't have any trouble with this renewal because, again, according to Eurosanakas, Zolakis wants to stay, he wants to renew with this club, which hopefully means he will stay another season. Of course, there is a 30 million price tag on Konstantinos Zolakis. Let's not forget that. But I am positive that we will have news on that, official news, in a matter of weeks, even though it's nothing to be that rushed. I hope we'll hear about the contract more and stuff because Zolakis needs to stay next season. Zolakis needs to be here. Whether we end up in Champions League or Europa, I think we'll still get Champions League. Don't get me wrong, I think we'll still get Champions League. But even if we end up in Europa, Zolakis will be the pillar that will get us far in the competition, or Zolakis will be the pillar, as he did this season, that will get us into another very positive, very enjoyable Champions League run. The important thing is that he needs to stay. He needs to renew. 30 million is a very good budget, and I trust our scouts. And that's why I said it's a very positive thing that people are being added on, people are getting specific roles, because it means that Olympiacos will once again be working like a well-oiled machine, like the Olympiacos we know and love. Now, getting into different sports, but more official additions, Volleyball, the insane team that we are building in volleyball. We talked about a lot of additions last time in one of the best players in the world, Jake Haynes, in Eric Rhodes, in Alex Raptis, and many more. And now it's official that the athletic specimen, the left-handed middle blocker from Cabo Verde, Helder Spencer, is an Olympiacos player. This man had a season and a half with Las Palmas, scoring 219 points, 148 from attack. He had 20 aces and 51 blocks in 76 sets, while, of course, reaching the quarterfinals of the SEV Champions League with his aforementioned ex-team Las Palmas. We are talking about a 2-meter tall middle blocker. The guy is insane. His vertical is insane. His vertical jump is unbelievable. To just go see a photo. Google Helder Spencer block, and you will see what I mean in photo. Because, wow, honestly, wow. And now, into the addition that most of you have been waiting for, into the addition that I have been waiting for, an incredibly good morning, a wonderful good morning, Cody Miller. McIntyre. Elder Spencer is taller than the Eiffel Tower. The funny thing, before we get into CMM, is that Elder Spencer is a middle brother. He's supposed to be the tallest in the team. He's not. Our outside hitter, Jake Haynes, is 217. The American is a beast. Let's not forget that our outside hitter, Jake Haynes, is 2 meters 17. He's almost as tall as a basketball center. Just wanted to throw that out. Now, CMM, Cody Miller McIntyre. An addition that we all knew, the man that announced himself along with Jean Montero, the man that had an insane season in the EuroLeague, the man that put up 12.6 points per game, 4.5 rebounds per game. Let me actually show you guys. Can I show you guys? Do give me a second to actually put this up. I do want to actually show you all his stats for this season. Let me work this. There they are. Okay, it's working. You give me some confirmation that you can see everything. I will put it like this. I should be in the bottom corner. Let me actually, yeah, okay, this is working. I am glad. Let me actually do this. Oh, no, it went away. Let me fix this. Okay, there it is. As you can see, the man put up 12.6 points per game. This is this season, by the way. 4.5 rebounds per game, 7.4 assists, 1 steal, and he had a personal index rating of 15 average. Come on. Wow. Like, honestly, wow. Of course, these are his season stats at the total. Again, this is just EuroLeague. You all can check them out and read them all. These are his playing stats against Barcelona. And I do want to find his stats against a specific team. Well, us as well. You can see his stats here in the first game against us, where we got a bit embarrassed with in the first round. These are his stats right here, if you look at the video. And honestly, this man performed so well this season, and he's such a Barjokas player. I do want to go ahead and go to his records right here, because I didn't know he did this. On the 20th of March of 2025 against us, he put up his rebounding record with 11. I don't know how else to say this other than the fact that this guy is a Barjokas player. I really don't know how else to describe Cody. Again, we talked a lot about this signing last time out and how he's gone very under the radar because of the signing of Jean Montero. But this man is going to give so much to Olympiacos. This man is going to give unbelievable stuff all around to Olympiacos. And I can't wait. I can't wait for him. I can't wait for Sean Montero to officially be announced. I can't wait for whoever else is said to come, because I feel like Olympiacos are preparing something very good. And I can't wait for all the renewals as well. And of course, it wasn't just CMN that got announced. We have Nike. Nike, call it whatever you want. I call it Nike. Old loves die hard. And now I can say this, finally got rid of GSA. My goodness. We've seen some good stuff from GSA, but finally. Of course, more sponsors are said to be announced. We already know that Superbet is going to be a major sponsor for Olympiacos next season. But Nike is back, and I think I'm not alone when I say that I am excited to see the jerseys. I am very excited. And I hope at least one of them is old school. I do want to see Olympiacos rock something different, something unique, and some classics. So I'm very happy we have Nike back. And now, the most important thing for last, and one of the questions that I got asked, what's my opinion on the new upcoming Georgios Karaiskakis? For those of you that didn't see the interview of Mr. Marinakis, Yannis Morales, and Karabavas, do go and check it out. Check out the video reveal of the stadium, because wow. Oh, wow. It's a beauty. My jaw dropped when the video first showed. Not even gonna lie to you all, my jaw dropped. It's a palace like this club deserves to have. As announced by Mr. Marinakis himself, it's gonna be a 53,000 plus capacity stadium. Truly solving a big majority of the problem of we don't all fit in the stadium. Another big thing for me that Mr. Marinakis said is that the prices are gonna be okay. Like the prices are not gonna go to the moon. They'll remain relatively normal and affordable, which is amazing news to hear. The stadium, of course, would have the stadium construction would have started now last May, but some stuff didn't go through. So if all goes well, knock on wood, because I think we all know what problems may arise. The stadium is going to start being constructed next May, and we are going to spend 2 years in a stadium where we have already celebrated a lot, and of course that is Oaxaca, and then we'll be at our true forever home, a stadium that shows off the glory of Olympiacos, a marvel of football and technology, and it's generational now that we live to see a new stadium. It first, of course, happened with Socrates Kokkalis, and now it's happening with Evangelos Marinakis, both legendary figures for Olympiacos, of course. And I'm just happy this team is going to have the home it deserves. And honestly, that goes with the entirety of Olympiacos. Like the new chef is going to happen, the new Olympiacos BC stadium is going to happen, the new Olympiacos FC stadium is going to happen. We are in the works to have our own water polo stadium, swimming pool, call it whatever you want. And in general, the Olympiacos village is going from just a dream to reality, slowly. And that's exactly what we all deserve, from the top of this club to the bottom. And that's about it from me today, unless any of you have extra questions. We caught up on everything, and I'm happy. I'm happy that we did. I'm very happy that we caught up on everything. A lot of positive news and a lot more to come. I know pre-season times, transfer times are always a bit on the crazier side, but bear with us and be very positive about next season in general. Thank you all for the support, as always. It's been insane everywhere. I'm able to run giveaways and stuff, which is I'm the happiest about it, and I'm the most thankful with the people I work with. And a lot more stuff's gonna come to give all the support back to you all tenfold. And it's all for the love of this badge and for us to stick together as fans and for you all to have a safe space away from traditional media to talk Olympiacos. For whatever you need, you may find it in the description. If you like what you see, I'm not going to tell you to like and sub, but I am going to tell you to go check out the Football Content Awards and vote for us as best international podcast. Nominate us. It's our second year running. Last year we didn't quite make the finals, but this year we are hoping to make it to England. I do believe that we have a very good chance to be finalists in just our second full year running as a show. And if we make it, I don't know how I'm going to thank you. The rest of the links are below. Have a wonderful night or a wonderful day, depending on when you're watching this. And as always, thank you.